Yeah.
Famo.
Here we go. Singular Sound Beat Buddy in collaboration with Theory Thursday. I'm Mike Ruggiero, and that is...
I'm Jason Thomas. Thanks, guys, for coming out.
We brought you Steve Anderson here today.
Everybody.
Yeah, what's up, man? Thank you for coming in.
Happy to be here.
Excellent. So we are very excited. Theory Thursday has gotten to do a collaboration with Singular Sound Beat Buddy. I couldn't be happier. We are now officially a worldwide episode.
Very good.
That's right. Woohoo! I hope we didn't peek you out because I'm a little hyper right now. So, how's everything sound, guys? In fact, now that we're worldwide, chime in, write in the comments. Let me know. Let us know where you're at. Would love to know. Argentina, Italy, Florida. We want to know. I have my feed going live right now on. Yes, I was able to do so. So
yeah.
I highly encourage to please share our page. Help us grow. And we are going to start the interview and talk to Steve Anderson. How are you, dude?
I'm doing well, thank you. I'm really happy to be here.
Right on.
Really happy to follow Jamie Lewis. That was really cool. I'd actually rather follow Jerry Lewis. That guy shreds. That was amazing. So this is cool. I mean, you're representing really good people and now me, so it's fun.
Right on. Well, cool. Very cool. As we talk and I ask you questions, you'll notice a variety of speech impediments. Speech impediment. What's the word?
Impediments.
Thank you. And BO, bad breath, everything's welcome, just like the old days.
Mm-hmm.
So, how long have you been playing?
I've been musical pretty much my whole life. Guitar, about 30 years. My parents went out and made sure Santa got me a nice beat-up old acoustic for, well, it was new, but it's beat up now, for Christmas when I was 17, and I just sat down with it, and I just loved it. I took some piano lessons when I was much younger, and I was raised in a church where they really took their music seriously, so as far as like singing and reading music and that kind of thing, I have a little bit of background with that, but it really all started with guitar.
All right, cool. So, what was your first electric guitar?
My first electric guitar, I got at Tenara. It was about candy apple raspberry. I got it for $150 at a place called Harper's Music in Chula Vista. It may not be there anymore. Tenara is an offshoot of Ibanez. It's kind of the Hyundai to their Kia. It was horrible, but I mean, honestly, like, don't you think you should start off with a really cheap instrument and then kind of earn your way there? So,
yes, I do.
yeah, the thing was just hideous. It was awesome.
Rad.
Yeah.
High action.
Oh yeah.
Low output pickups, which are great.
Yeah, it was great.
Well, Steve's a very special guest to Jason and I. We have had the luxury of playing in a band with him, and we'll get to that. The band that we were in was Fusebox, and we spent about 22 years on and off, but collectively, Jason and Steve were the main songwriters of our band, and I hung out. Dusty hung out, and Dusty and I, we had a great time, being told what to do. So thank you for bossing me around all those years. I learned a lot. I really did.
Anytime, dude.
Jason, on his interview, I mentioned that he showed me blues.
Mm-hmm.
This guy, you showed me specifically in musical situations. You got me listening to James Brown. That's
nice.
what you did. Yeah,
Very good.
You helped me out with funk.
Yeah, we should go see him sometime. He's cool.
We should. He's playing at Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles, and we're opening up.
Yeah.
But
How sensitive of you. That's right.
I know. we try to make jokes.
We do. We try.
And so we're going to rewind a little bit. I threw in a nice factoid right there about the three of us, but we're going to go to the beginning. What was the first band you were in?
First band I was in, we went through many names, but eventually settled on the Repellents. It was me and some friends of mine, Ron and Joe and John Stutzman, who I still
Are they tuning in?
I have no idea.
Are they Facebookers?
They are. I believe they're all on Facebook. I have no idea if they're tuning in, but that was fun. That was all of us learning how to play our instruments. We had an idea that we wanted to be kind of punkish and maybe
Can you display a riff, maybe? Can you remember any of that material?
God, I think, let's see.
Don't forget your distortion pedal.
Yeah, I think we did.
That got interestingly quieter.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah. No,
that was one of our songs. Don't remember what it was about. Probably
Can
about.
I boost his distortion pedal? It somehow all of a sudden got.
Yeah, I think it might be the battery,
Ooh, that's no.
No? Okay.
Tuning
bring
is
it up.
fine.
It should be fine.
Okay, I'm turned all the way. How does this sound?
Let's hear it. I love that chord.
That's the brown chord.
That's the.
There we go.
All right.
On the brown, there we go.
So, we do have a warning red light. My lithium power supply on the pedal board that Steve's using. It gave us, that's like a 15-minute marker right there.
Okay.
So what we can do, if it shuts off, we'll hear everything. It'll just go off real quick, and then I'll have to make an adjustment, and then we'll just tweak the preamp over here.
More of you, less of me, dude. It's all good.
So, a
This
lot
guy
of technical difficulties today.
Yeah.
I haven't noticed we tried to go live a couple of times in it.
I think it's very appropriate
with
for me
things.
being the guest, yeah.
So you have an aura of malfunction.
I am
around
not allowed
you.
to touch
Yes,
equipment.
You should not be
Blue
allowed
Sky
to touch
Flu.
equipment.
But we
Yeah.
successfully...
We got it. We're up and
got
running.
it.
And
We're up and running.
Thanks, guys.
It's early on, though.
Thumbs up.
We'll do it live, Jake.
So-
Jake just commented, yeah, we'll do it live. We'll do it live.
Yeah, right. Hey, Jake, thanks for watching, bro. I want to introduce you guys to Jeff. Jeff is our drummer. Jeff is our beat buddy. He's right here. Listen to him. That's right. That's Jeff. He's right here. Thank you so much.
And then let's talk about what beats we use in the beginning and what beat.
We use Rock 2. So our Beat Buddy, it's a drum machine. It has a variety of genres in it. And when we first opened up the show with Steve here, that was an original song called Air Biscuit. And we are using Rock 2. We also have some other examples. I believe we're going to be doing some Odd Time.
Yeah, that thing is awesome, and I'm not even afraid of it. So if anybody knows, I am not a gearhead. I know very little about equipment, but I could actually use that.
I know. I actually gave him a 2-second tutorial because I had to go make his coffee.
Mm-hmm.
I came back, 10, 15 minutes later, and Steve was all involved, engaged, and pressing the buttons and finding his right beats, and describe how simple it is.
It's very simple, and there are also, I believe they have a internet presence. I did look up a few tutorials on YouTube, and I believe they have a website as well where it kind of lets you know what's going on. Like I said, I'm afraid of equipment, and I was able to fly with that thing. It sounds really cool, and it's a drum pedal as opposed to like a drum machine. It's like a drum machine and a drum pedal. I really enjoy it. I think that thing is awesome. I'm glad that you have a collaboration with the Beat Buddy pedal.
Yeah, thanks, Steve.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I went in there and I found the Odd Time. Was that number 1? Because I do want to cue it so when we do
sure,
jam,
why not?
Was that Odd Time number 1?
Well, it was 5/4. I think it was number 1.
Okay, and what was the tempo you had?
I think I had it around, I want to say 80-ish.
Well, actually, didn't we save it? Saved at 95.
Oh, 90. Wow, that's nice and fast. Okay, yeah, sure. 95 sounds good.
That could blow our.
That is adjustable.
It is adjustable.
Yeah.
Well, we pre-set a loop in 5. So anyhow, we'll get there.
Yeah.
Well, excellent. The repellents, the bug repellents. How long did that band last? Hey,
maybe a year.
Please.
People kind of went their own way. I did end up in a band with John, the drummer, who's another really, really good musician. He's one of those guys that picks up an instrument and he just goes. And we had a lot of fun with that. And that band kind of morphed into a band that eventually ended up being called the Elf Lounge, with our buddy Jim Richards playing bass and me on guitar and singing, and it was just a lot of fun. It's, you know, when you first kind of find out what you're going to sound like playing with other people, and just really kind of exploring what kind of musical directions you can go. And it was a trio, which really gave everybody a lot of room. Jim was a very busy bass player, and so it kind of let me explore a little bit more what I could do, learned a lot of rhythms. So that was fun. And
Dusty, our best friend, played drums in Elf Lounge.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, during this time period, which was about 95, that's when Dusty answered an ad out of the Reader, and that's how he met Steve and Jim, and God rest his soul, Jim's not with us anymore. Fantastic bass player back in the day.
Back in the day.
And then that's when we met. We used to. I met Steve when he was in Elf Lounge, and Jason. We all met 1995. You did parties at the old house on 73rd Street.
73rd Street, represent.
And one thing led to another. That band stopped because of what transpired.
Yeah, there was some interpersonal dynamic issues. It's tough to have.
Aren't there always?
And some people just should not drink. So, you know. But yeah, I mean, people go in and out of bands all the time, and it ended up being a really cool thing because I ended up playing with you guys. So
we ended up absorbing Steve. And you at the same time, because that was like at the same time you guys both came in.
Yeah.
Right at that.
Well, you absorbed me and my ego, so it was like two.
Well, it was like 2, 5,
kind of the way Jeff Goldblum absorbed the Fly.
Yes, exactly.
Exactly the same thing.
Can we hear an Elf Lounge riff? I'm fond of some of those old songs.
We had a song called Singapore, which we actually
Let's hear some of
resurrected.
Is that clean enough?
That's clean enough. So those are just a.
Yes. Nice. Can you say the line that I like? Or Sammy, I'm tired. And then Popular Michael.
Let's see. And Let's see. Last night I dreamt I met Sam Donaldson. He had a hairpiece made of gold. Interviewed Michael. Show me his nose. Popular Michael, please throw us some lead. For other networks, we're trying to be. What made you do it? And what did you eat? Cameras are rolling. Who was at your feet? Yeah.
Love the chords, man. Love the chord
reverb
progressions.
off of that. There we go.
Well, that's the pedal.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah, there's
there we go.
nice and super dry. Yeah, a little gas pedal.
Yeah, I didn't even break it, so that's cool.
Dude, I am so stoked.
Yeah, a little topical song there. You know, so it was fun. There was a lot of freedom in that band. We could go everywhere.
Let's talk about that progression for a hot second.
Okay.
A good old, it's a G major 7 and then B minor 7, which is its classic 1-3 and then 1-3-4. Play one.
So
There's our G major 7. There's our B minor 7.
pull in,
Going to
C
minor 7.
and then pulled into an F.
We call that a 4-chord substitution.
Yeah,
Jeff, what do you
pull into
think?
an F.
All right, just a little check-in with Jeff.
Yeah, cool.
He's stoked too.
Yeah, so I always like kind of playing.
Yes.
Absolutely addicted to sevenths. So that was a lot of fun, and then just a kind of
Major,
mixing it
minor
up.
7 stuff. Yeah, those are
Absolutely.
excellent flavors.
Absolutely.
So I want to segue into the Fusebox years. When we collectively, the three of us, the first 8 songs, which I like to refer to as the second generation Fusebox music, we had a lot of collaborating with our writing. And songs, geez, Jason, help me out here. Remember he wrote stuff, you wrote stuff. Let's talk about, what was the first thing you brought to the table back then?
God, I think it might have been, was it Pagan?
I think it was that.
It
yeah.
was.
Or,
It was Pagan.
Cunning Linguist, too, I think.
Yeah, Cunning
Yeah,
Linguist.
he's
that
right,
was a
though.
good one.
Pagan was first.
Yeah,
Cunning
just
Linguist
kind of
was
a-
second. Then Daddy. Anyhow. Yeah. Oh, gosh. I think we have...
Which includes something Heather Nation went over, actually. She does like to do kind of the
Hi, Heather.
open. Yeah, she's awesome. She reminds me a lot of me when I get better. So we had a pull it up open chord. This is one of my favorites. It's that kind of C shape pulled up into a D. And then, you can, the kind of open thing, I was really influenced by Dave Gavrin of the Sundays, and he does a lot of this kind of thing. He keeps a lot open. And Johnny Marr does that a lot too. He's a god. So
You like Johnny, huh?
I love Johnny Marr. He's kind of I was very influenced by that kind of '80s jangle pop. My second guitar was a Rickenbacker, a Sunburst. I think it was a 630.
The old Rick.
The old Rick that is now somewhere in the ether in L.A. So
There's ether in L.A.?
there is yes, there's lots of ether in L.A. I don't know. Anyway, that thing is gone. If anybody finds it, they stopped making Rickenbackers. It's probably tripled in value. But
Do you remember the contrast back then? You had the cool, funky Beatles guitar, and I had like the Jackson
Yeah, the
shatter
Jackson.
crackle. It was like stage left, super vintage Johnny Marr, stage right, Metallica. So
But at least we both had $7 haircuts, so it all worked out.
I thought mine was like $20 back then.
Yeah, well, you
So
didn't.
Square pegs
You
and
might want to
round
go get your money back.
I do.
Yes, it was a lot of fun. The Rickenbacker, that was with the Elf Lounge as well. And one thing with the Rickenbackers is the actual the width of the neck was really narrow, so it lent itself to a lot of kind of strumming and rhythm and that kind of thing where I could do a lot of that kind of rhythmy thing. And again, since it was such a busy bass player, there was a lot of room to syncopate. When you have a trio, you can do that more. If you try to do a lot when you have more people, you have to be really good. It can be really messy.
You guys
Or it can sound awesome. Herbie Hancock, Man-Child. There is just awesome syncopation all over that. Or Tower of Power. But they're also really, really tight, which is something that we really weren't
There were some
looser.
some
It was
songs,
looser.
but yeah, I know what you mean.
Speaking of the Elf Lounge, we did okay.
Oh, you're talking about the Dirty Elves,
Yeah.
aka Dirty Elves.
Yes. AKA Dirty Elves. Yes.
So, well, great. So, more Fusebox talk, songwriting. Let's talk about the chord progression or chorus, some of the arrangement in Cunning Linguist. This guy's a funny word. What would you say right there? Wordsmith?
It was funny 20 years ago.
I think it's still funny.
Yeah, so that's that song starts off, it's got the E minor and the 7th. Again, you can pretty much add all 7s. This one's a flat one. Start in E, and then move down to a D major with a sharp 7, then to a D minor. That's one thing I like to do is change from major to minor.
I really like that sound too.
And then
A
the
major 7.
Yeah, A major 7. So it kind of... And then the chorus, I like, all the chords. I like that. So we start with an F, major 7.
Yeah, when you arpeggiate through a sequence of like 7 to 9 chords like that, it has a very carnival-y vibe.
Kind of merry-go-round broke down, yeah.
You remember what I played to that? It was the same chords, but I would go...
Yeah. Yep. All the right chords, too. It's awesome. Yep.
Yeah.
That was cool. You pull that up into that. And then, yeah, we did some... pulled it into, what is this, a B-flat minor to a E-flat major. Just kind of a 1-4 thing, minor 1, major 4. And that really allowed us to... just go crazy in that song. And Dusty, our drummer, he can fill in a lot. Jason gets to go nuts. You get to go and do all your stunt guitar and everything. It's a lot of fun.
It was a lot more congested back when we wrote it, though.
So,
yes,
basically every chord in the book thrown at you at once, which is amazing.
That's what I do.
Well, not every... I
It's
want to
what
go
I
ahead
do.
and just say they were just 7s. There's no diminished chords. There's no augmentation, although it welcomes it. But yes, it feels like every chord in the book. So I had to get a little snobby about that because... there are some people that watch this show that do know their theory.
Okay. Well, next week you're going to have a really good guest, too. So.
I think I'm the only one. No. So, yeah. Well, no. Again, though, man, those chord progressions, and I've complimented you in the past, I've always been very fond. These voicings, these moves, they inspired me to write Serpico.
Scorpio.
Yes.
Al Pacino.
Same
And
thing.
then I went... That was a complete rip from... I haven't touched that in like 10 years. I'm so... God bless memories.
Or was it is it that major? No.
There was a B flat 13.
Oh, okay. Well, whatever that means. Okay,
So, yeah,
cool.
poppy jazz tunes,
Yeah.
jazz riffs with funk beats.
There you go.
So, how do we know each other? I think we already went over that.
Yeah, I met you for Fusebox. You just showed up. I had never met you before. I didn't know about Morbus. I didn't know any of the people from 73rd. When Dusty answered our ad, that band fell apart fairly quickly soon after. Jim had some problems. It got to the point where he was very difficult to be in. There were fights at every show, and it was a happy band, and we'd just be up there having a good old time. And then before you know it, the entire audience was like fighting everybody in the bar. So that kind of needed to end. We roll into Fusebox with Dusty. I knew Jason from before. We actually played a show at the Casbah and ended up having a good time in Jim's minibus van sort of rolling thing. And so we had talked when that started to fall apart, and Dusty just said, dude, let's just go ahead and resurrect Fusebox. There was previous iterations of Fusebox with Donnie and other people.
Yeah.
So that was a band that was already together. And
We
was taking a little bit of a
we
break.
repackaged it.
Yep.
You and I
Mm-hmm.
came in as a twin guitar attack.
Yep.
And
Eventually having Steve move to keys and getting...
Yeah, out of necessity, I started picking up the keys. It made it a little bit easier, gave us a broader sound, and it allowed us to bring on Steve Moore, who's a really good multi-instrumentalist. He's playing with Tapwater in Portland.
What's up, Steve?
Somewhere in Alaska, anyway.
Steve-o.
Yep. And he occasionally, last time he came down, he sat in with us on lap steel at the soda bar, and he's just one of the really good players that we've played with. There's been a lot of people coming in and out of that band. It was fun. Good time to play with so many different instrumentalists. Todd Everett.
What's up, Todd?
Pavo Laird.
Pavo.
Pavo
wants to come in on the show.
He would be a great guest. That guy knows his stuff, man.
Yeah. Yes. You know, as I'm observing our time limit on this board here, I want to do a little thing in 5.
Okay.
This is a new piece of music that Steve wrote. We have it preset. You said it was an 80 BPM?
It was about 80, yeah, at a 5. It was either 5.4 or 5.8.
So here's what I'm hoping. I'm going to go ahead and set it. Okay? And then we go in here and just... So, if I go back to where it was...
95 is fine. Maybe it was 5.8. Try it on a 5.8. This thing is awesome. You can get so many different sounds out of it. So it allows you to do 5.4 as well as 5.8, which I think is
Jeff came on?
A little more.
I'm putting it on right now. I was waiting for you to get ready.
Yeah.
Okay.
Every time we mess
Well,
with
anytime you want to talk about the Beat Buddy, I'm falling in love with that thing. I'm not just blowing smoke because they're helping us out here. It's a really cool machine, and again, I haven't broken it.
Is it
awesome.
Steve Anderson proof? Is that what you're saying?
As of now, it is. And I've been staring at this thing.
So is that about 95? Why don't we just set a new loop? It'd be easier.
Yeah, if we're gonna set a new loop, let's take it down to about 85. And see how he's able to do that. 4, 5, 1, 2.
Just leave Jeff on. Steps, everyone. Man, that's rad.
And then wrote a lead in for it. So I thought a lead would go pretty cool over it. It lends itself to a lot of fun. It's that kind of flat fifth thing Davey Carano talked about the first time. I like those too. And if you're not familiar with what is it, Purple Haze. like that. Interesting side note on that, since those are 6 half steps apart, people thought that song was satanic. When it first hit the radio, there were a lot of people upset about it. But if you hit the flat fifth in between. The rest of the people are pretty familiar with that. So yeah, I like to kind of try to put square pegs into round holes.
That's what Jason likes to do.
Yeah, it's one of the reasons why I think we hit it off so well.
I think that's why I said it the last time. He's like a brother from another mother because we think so much alike. That
people are always getting us confused.
Yeah, always, because we look so much alike.
Jason, I also would like to add, and I think every episode, depending on the context, I little shout out to you. Aside from our friendship and our musical journey that we've had with each other, I really appreciate the contrast between what we know in music. Like you're very raw and have like a talent approach. I have
as opposed to a non-talent approach.
Well, I have a non-talented study approach.
Oh, I get it.
So.
It's natural,
I just wanted to shed a little light on that live because I think that's one of the ultimate dynamics why this whole show works.
Yeah, I mean,
because frankly, the reason why I'm bringing this up is that I've been reaching out to some other guests. People, I've been private messaging you, and inviting you, and frankly, there's a little bit of shyness. Some of our audience and some of our friends feel like they have to be very studied to come on here and talk.
No, I'm here to represent that you don't.
No, you know more.
We would like
for me being on there is definitely one. But yes, it is. It comes out to all musicians. It really, you can be aware of theory and not know that you actually understand music theory, and still know it. Or you still actually have it. So if you have a basic understanding of music, it's all part of it. And we will welcome you on the show. I mean, you don't have to know everything. You just got to play or.
Exactly.
Share your talent with the rest of the world, and we much appreciate it if you guys can do that.
I mean, if it's a Dorian with a sharp 4 and you do not know that that's a Romanian mode, the 4th position of harmonic or harmonic minor, it's okay.
Yeah, this is the kind of useful stuff you can learn on this show. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm full of, aside from studying Star Wars and knowing about Marvel, I'm addicted to scales, knowing what they are, and
you're addicted to knowing what they're called. I mean, I generally know what mode we're in and what scale you're in, but if you say like, oh, we got a Doric column in, C flat, it's like, okay, cool, dude.
Just play it.
Yeah, just play it, man. Just play it. So it's a lot by feel. You've had previous people on who they're field players. I am as well. I can sort of read music for piano and for trumpet in the B flat scale, which I'm trying to unlearn and play it in regular. But I don't know that in a project like this and with other people you're going to collaborate with, which is always a good thing to play with other people. That the language you're going to share isn't necessarily going to be like in the written music stuff. For instance, like I said, have no idea what you're talking about when you're talking about a Dorian or a whatever. But I mean, we know what mode we're in. We learn it by ear.
Well, I can explain that really briefly if you like.
That would be exciting. Thank you.
It's exciting. Stick with us here. So let's just have some fun for a minute.
Alrighty, let's break it down and get basic.
That's Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La, Ti, Do.
Sure.
Right. So Dorian is starting on the 2. So that's positioning your scale in a neighborhood. So if we want to extend it so it actually is more memorable, you go to the 5th fret, and it's a minor scale with a sharp 6. What that means is you simply play an A minor scale, and you count, be like, that's not entirely in key. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is our culprit. We sharp it, and now we're completely in key with G. And that's all that's happened, so go ahead and strum the G chord.
Well, okay.
So I would play this tonality over it.
See, and when I think of that, I want to do a 2-5-1. So, for instance, when you're playing that scale, you start on the 5th, and that allows for the G major. The D major. So when you play that scale, you're playing G. But when I hear that, I hear an A minor.
Well, of course you do.
With a sharp 6.
Again, that would be an example of playing. You can play modally and play on the 2 chord, and it sounds more coherent. Like, hey, I'm in A minor, and then the melody guy will decide to use that note, right? So, but to sound modally, you would play the G chord. The band would be playing a G chord and a C or whatever, going right. Now, someone like myself or like sax players or whatever, they specifically will start their note. They'll start their solo on A, and they have to resolve on A.
Okay.
That's playing modally.
See, now normally when we're talking about when you resolve, you're talking about the 1, 3, 5, or 7. So if we're playing in G, the first thing I think of is you're going to
and those are chord tones, and those are the safe notes, and those are the one of 3 notes that make that chord sound great and coherent. But that's not modally. That's no big deal there though. Okay. It's a study.
There's ether in San Diego too. I think everybody just fell asleep.
So back to the fun stuff.
Yeah. Well, that's very interesting. Okay,
it is Theory Thursday.
I'm going to forget that as soon as I can.
Yeah,
Jeff,
we got to mix up a little bit of theory.
I do have. I wanted to choose. Got my Jeff cam on.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go ahead and put. I want to grab that funky beat, and here's Funk 1. And so you chose that for. Wasn't that for an older fuse box?
What was that? Was that Cunning Linguist maybe?
Huh?
Was that Cunning Linguist maybe that we did that one on?
What's it sound like?
Just. You bump it up to 150, it's about every Fusebox song written. It's an E flat. Sound good with a beat up.
was a fun tune.
We got kind of Zappa inspired with, obviously not reaching that kind of level, but that was one thing we like to do, is we like to play, just go nutty with it. It's a fun thing about playing with Fusebox. 1, 2, 3, see you at the end.
What'd you guys think about Jeff and those transitions, man?
Jeff's really good. I heard you can get Jeff drunk.
You can get Jeff drunk.
I saw that on the tutorial. I'm really interested to see how that sounds.
You know, next week when I improve the lighting in here on our Jeff cam, I will go into that.
I will tune into that. One thing I saw on the, again, they have...
It's a sobriety control.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, go ahead. You're doing it great.
Oh, no.
Okay, well, I saw it. I saw it on the YouTube tutorial, and it might have even been in the on their webpage, where it says you can actually get there's a sobriety mode where you can go to a little tipsy to flat out drunk. The quantizing goes a little off, hits fills in the wrong places and everything like that. It's basically like having
Maybe
Jeff.
we should
Shout out to Jeff and Dusty.
Rad.
So
Dusty's
good
pretty
times.
darn. Dusty's pretty darn. Tough.
Dusty's really good.
Even when he drinks, he's just like,
yeah. Yeah, he
What's up, Dusty?
sweats and plays really hard regardless, so it's a good time.
My favorite is hugging him after shows. I feel like I just jumped in a pool.
Yeah.
I'm like,
It's like that.
The Norwegian waterfall.
It's like that scene from Dodgeball when he goes in, he just slams up against him, just wets down his face. It's pretty
Yes.
interesting.
You know, speaking of movies, any new movies that you've been? I'm just kidding. You know, I'm having a lot of fun talking about songs. You know, does it seem a little brief? Did it go by fast? Are we at our 45 minutes?
Holy crap.
Yeah, it goes by fast. Guys
Yeah, it
out
does.
there, you know, if you have any comments and you have any suggestions for our show, type away. Jason and I and the team at Singular Beat Buddy, we're here to improve the show. We want to grow and improve globally with Jeff. Improve globally with Jeff. Back, I'm just kidding. I won't start doing my rap. In fact, the hip hop or the beatbox grooves in there are awesome.
I was wanting to play around with that, and I will say to the quality of that pedal, I've been in this room now for 2 hours and I have not broken it. So there is something to say with that. Jason will vouch for me, as will the guys of Blue Sky Flu, which is another
Let's
band.
talk
that
about
I'm in.
Blue Sky Flu
Yeah.
right now while we're at it. We missed that before.
Yeah. So we did the Fusebox talk, and I think that was a lot of information. You know, we also will come back and play some gigs from time to time. But yes,
Absolutely.
Blue Sky Flu.
Blue Sky Flu is a project. Fusebox was on a little hiatus, and I did want to do something that was a little more mellow. I would do a little, just something that's a little more what comes out of me when I play. And so I got together with Sarah and Mario Rodriguez, who were very good musicians themselves.
A power couple.
Yeah, and speaking of multi-instrumentalists, Mario Rodriguez is just fantastic. He's really good. So I got together with them, and we started picking out some people we'd want to play with, and Jason. And so we got Ryan McMullen, who's also in Motel Blackouts and Manganista, which so the third band that Jason's in. With
And
that.
yes, Jason's in this band as well.
And Jeff Newman, who's the drummer. And I had some
Hey,
stuff.
Jeff.
Hey,
Jeff and Jeff.
Yep.
Jeff, meet Jeff.
Yep,
So
Jeff meets Jeff.
here's Jeff Newman. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, Jeff Buddy.
Jeff Buddy.
So it's been a really cool outlet, and it is a little bit of a collaborative effort in that at this point I've written most of the music, but everybody's kind of they take ownership of their own parts, which is really cool.
You also take a different role. You're like a front man, and you have an auxiliary keyboard.
I do.
I've seen you play like acoustic guitar.
Mm-hmm.
You got your keyboard.
Yeah, I mostly concentrate on this one on the singing. My singing suffers a little bit, as does my playing, if I try to do both. So in this one, since there's so much musical strength behind it, I get to concentrate on the vocals. And we do have 4 people in that band who sing, in addition, and if we needed Ryan and Jeff to sing, they could do it as well. So it becomes a lot of fun. We just wanted something. The concept Blue Sky Flu itself is we live in San Diego, we live in Southern California, and we're just surrounded by this paradise. And sometimes it's just so nice you got to call in sick. So when you do that, it's called the Blue Sky Flu. When you just got to go and take a recovery day at the beach. And
I love that there's a whole meaning
there is a meaning
behind it.
There is a meaning, and we just really wanted to embrace something that's the Southern California sound, something that I think is maybe underrepresented.
Would you like to show our viewers what one of the Blue Sky Flu songs sounds like?
Do the to the sea.
Okay. Yeah, we can.
Do you see enough?
Do you want me to try to find a beat for it? Or
If you want to, I'll just go ahead and.
It's like this swing kind of.
Yeah, this one's called To the Sea. It's basically.
Let's
just,
hear it first, and
okay.
then that'll determine if I can.
So open there, A. So we got salt in the air, sand underfoot, waves crashing, sun on my skin, wind in my hair, kids splashing. There's a brown note for you. And all I have to do, and all I've done before, I look where the blue meets the blue, and it doesn't mean much anymore. Skin on the sand, sun on the skin, relaxing. All of my woes melt in the sun like wax. Take all I have to do, and all I've done before. I look where the blue meets the blue, and I know I am back at the shore. From the sea we came, to the sea we reached.
Sorry.
That's all right. So that's an
so-
example of that. It doesn't change much.
Would this beat work? Na na na. Is that too fast?
It's going to be on like a 3/4 actually.
Oh.
It's always with the off time there.
This is Mike in real time using this pedal. There was clearly no prep on this. He's just going straight.
Well, we at the moment.
Or we can do it. You know what? You know it'd be an easier one.
Yeah, just. Yeah, I like the way you sing on this song.
Yeah. We'll take it back to F. So back to F. Contemplating my way, how will be this room? F sharp. one song, actually, lyrical inspiration. My wife just said, "You know what that sounds like?" Because I have the music before I write the lyrics. She said, "You know what? That kind of sounds like maybe a guy that's been stood up."
Interesting.
So yeah, it's Blind Date Gone Bad, which is good because not everybody can be Roger Waters or Justin Sullivan, where you have to be profound and everything. I absolutely agonize over lyrics, and I try to take a long time with them. But they can, I try not to be hamstrung by them. You can go from the profound to the silly, and so long as they work,
Yeah.
But that's one thing I admire about Jason is that he actually makes a whole song approach as opposed to some music and then it sounds like somebody's singing a poem over it. That's something I'm just starting to actually get the hang of and make it work a little bit better. But
I still do the silly.
Yeah.
I still go silly too.
Well, if you the Matt and Trey, the South Park guys, they said very specifically if you you can say anything you want if you do a character, so it's easy to inhabit characters or maybe just kind of tell stories, that kind of thing. So
not worried about rhyming.
I actually worry a lot about rhyming, but that can be a little easier too. Don't end a line in sponge. Or else you'll be, or I just try to avoid the cliches. Jason and I talked about that too. We didn't, So, friend, if you rhyme
sponge could work with orange because orange is tough. You could, you can make.
It wouldn't be an AA. It would be an ABA. Maybe kind of forget, have a little bit of it.
Sure.
Yeah, but I mean, lyrically speaking, I just don't want to paint myself into a corner. So, for instance, a very cliche thing is if you end a line with let's say I'm all by myself, your next line is probably going to involve a shelf. So you
or an elf.
Or an elf, yeah. Either way, but I mean, there's no belf. But if you bury that rhyming back there, if you do an ABCD or an ABA or something like that, then you can use things that sound like it, like help. Whereas if you did, I'm all by myself, please somebody send help. You throw I'm all by myself. You left me high and dry. Now I need help. Come poke me in the eye. That kind of thing.
Wow. I would like to
That's
add,
actually a Metallica song.
Oh, that's even more funny.
Yeah.
The Steve Anderson songwriting lyrics 101. It's that's for sale on what's the plug on that? The page or
the page on that? There, yeah. No thanks.
Anyhow, I'm gonna close up our show. I'm Mike Ruggiero.
I'm Jason Thomas, and I'd like to remind everybody that we will be having Israel Maldonado
next
week, and tune in right about the same time.
Yes, which is we try to go 12 o'clock out here in the West Coast, which would be 3 p.m. on the East Coast, right?
Yes,
is that correct? So
3 hours.
And
musician time. So
yes.
12, start at 12 question mark.
Yeah. Well, depending on if we have any. We shouldn't have any more technical difficulties like we did today.
I'm very much looking forward to hearing Israel. You guys have had
great,
some fantastic guests on.
We're looking forward to that as well.
He's really cool because he does.
Another Beat Buddy fan.
Beat Buddy fan, but he's got his acoustic guitar and he's running pedals through it. It's amazing. You're really gonna like Israel.
I can't wait to see how that works with our system next week.
Rad. Well, we'll make it work.
So thank you so much for watching. Again, this is our first time in collaboration with Singular Sound Beat Buddy and Theory Thursday. We are a global episode. This is Steve Anderson. I'm Mike Ruggiero, and our co-host...
Jason Thomas. Thanks for watching.
See you next week, guys.